Oh, she has some good variety to her game, likes to go with power, will throw up an occasional third shot lob and lob from the kitchen line. So let's see what she has in store for us.
New ball, game one, time in.
Game one upon us on the paddle of Lucy Kovalova.
Point.
Right away miss from Caitlin Christian. Out of the air, Lucy Kovalova. Gets the ball back, playing straight up with Safdar at the moment.
Side out.
Yeah, so 2 points in, and we can see the straight-up situation. I don't think that that's going to change unless the scoreline gets a little lopsided. And I actually like that to take a little bit of pressure off of Safdar.
Second serve.
Who is getting fired up early with a quality first volley on the run moving forward.
Safdar's been around the game since 2021. Said it was the same day she had her wisdom teeth removed, according to her bio.
He's a competitor.
Wonder how that went.
Yeah, if that's the case. I had my wisdom teeth out, and I wasn't playing any pickleball on that day.
1-0-1.
Wonder if it was before the anesthesia or after.
Second serve. One, 0-2. Side out.
Safdar has a really interesting background too. He's also a medical doctor, former Division I tennis player, but
0-1-1.
talk about managing and doing it all. There you have it.
Point.
She likes to take a cut on the two-handed backhand side, this one catching the tape. But look for Safdar to continue to release on those two-handers.
1-1-1.
Heck of a corner pocket return from Lucy Kovalova. I usually don't use that term on a return of serve, but that was a great one from Lucy.
Yeah, on the money. Indecision on the out ball again. Ryan Fu can relate.
Yes. That's exactly what we saw twice from Ryan Fu in the previous men's match, so it must be something about Humana Championship court today. Can't have indecision out there, even though it's tough not to.
Side out.
Efficient work for Safdar and Kovalova, holding Christian and Gecheva at 2.
Point.
Gecheva going for that heavy slice return and going with the shadow swing after the miss to make sure her technique is on point. She prefers that slice on the return, and she will continue to look for it.
Ooh, a sitter for Safdar goes down into the net.
2-2-2.
Oh, Gecheva goes right to the body of Safdar. Gets the ball back.
Might have caught her in the bun. That was high. I think that was above the shoulders.
2-2-1.
It happens.
Kovalova goes big to the middle again. Lays down the hammer.
That nice setup from Safdar with the inside-out forehand dink. Lucy reaching in, as she always does, from the right side to find forehand offense.
Nice put away for Safdar, full intensity. Got the round of 16 coming up after this match. Back to men's doubles. Johnson Tardio will take on Hovenier and Johnson Kola.
Point.
And another point for Kovalova and Safdar.
A high to the Kovalova forehand is definitely not the play. So we'll see if Gecheva and Christian can get that situated very early on.
Point.
Ball ended up lower than Caitlin Christian was hoping for, but I actually like the take with the forehand in the middle of the court. Christian cannot play passively over there on the left side.
Down it goes. Krista Gecheva leans in, puts the ball down. Adam, you had a chance to call the match last weekend in the semis with these two. Up to this point, we'd love to know what was cooking for them in St. George that you'd love to see more of for Gecheva and Caitlin Christian. And what was the magic that got them to that point in the tournament?
Right, I think aggression is important for both ladies. They have an aggressive style that is their default. And of course, they ran into the buzziest of saws in Annalie Waters and Catherine Parento that ended that run in the main draw. So, like I said, aggression. Couple nice setup shots, but any opportunities to put pressure on opponents, I think Christian and Gecheva need to take them.
Off the take, tough bounce for Gecheva, couldn't recover it. Gecheva originally from Wimbledon, London.
2-4-2.
You can see where the tennis background comes from. And
point.
Not wasting any time to strike there for Gecheva. Safdar tries to catch it.
Yeah, that's Safdar a couple times now, loaded up on the forehand side for counterattacks. And the ball has been coming to her backhand. See if she can stay a little more neutral and react to what's coming her way.
Nice,
point.
that backhand so efficient for Gecheva.
And right when I say that, Gecheva plays one over to the Safdar forehand. So possibly M.Safdar can take a few more balls cross court or to the middle, as when she is redirecting or pushing a dink up the line, Gecheva has had some success finding offense.
Side out.
Nation point, run ends there.
I think Lucy had something to do with those dink patterns going over to Caitlin Christian. I think Safdar is consistent cross court there, and also she has her partner Lucy Kovalova with the heavy counterattacks right in front of Caitlin Christian.
Point.
I think Safdar hit that exactly like she wanted to, but she was in the perfect position. That is step one. Good things happen when your court positioning is on point.
Second serve.
Definitely the hottest day of the week we've had so far. 81 degrees and sunny, humid.
5-4-2.
Sweat certainly a factor. Jack Sock can tell you about that. Nice work by Caitlin Christian.
Beautifully balanced on that initial speed up from Christian, and a good paddle position for the second ball. Yeah, I thought water or sweat squirting out of your shoes was only a Florida thing, but apparently it's a North Carolina thing as well.
You should know, Adam. You live here.
Yeah.
Second serve.
Our heavy sweater analysis from the booth.
Yeah, I qualify for that too. So.
PPA champion and one of the heaviest sweaters on tour. Just kidding.
Yeah, Declan and I as a team, we're doing a good bit of sweating.
Lob is out
point.
For Safdar. Another point for Christian and Gecheva.
Yeah, I had a feeling she was going to go to that at some point. Actually like it more from the kitchen line than as a third shot, but didn't have that one dialed in, about a foot long.
Point.
Big time drive from Caitlin Christian, showing off the singles prowess
Yeah.
on the doubles court.
Far and away the hottest singles player to start the year was Caitlin
6-5-2.
Christian. Made it to almost every final to start the year. Out it goes, Safdar, Beastly at the kitchen.
That's a great fill in the middle on the initial counter from Safdar, because Lucy was beat on the forehand side. Nice to have a little backup when you're not exactly where you need to be. Two-handed forehand from Christian.
Point.
The heavy angle roll from Safdar. This one is neck and neck.
6-6-1.
Offense cooking for Caitlin Christian, forcing the second serve.
Six, 6-2.
Gecheva wins the battle down the line on Safdar, gets the ball back.
And unique body position from Caitlin Christian to handle that initial cross-court speed up. Really athletic to clear the body out of the way and find a good forehand counter.
6-6-1. Second serve.
Quality combination from Safdar. Say an average initial speed up on the forehand side, but very ready for the second ball. So important.
Caitlin Christian smokes it, sends it out for the side out. Heavy drive to start two, opted to go heavy pace on the third and fifth.
6-6-1. Second serve.
Kovalova wants it back.
Yeah, nice work from Christian to take that second hand off the paddle and get some extra reach on the one-handed backhand roll.
Setting up Gecheva on a tee.
Kovalova showing a bit of frustration, not able to get that dig from the midcourt down.
6-6-1.
That wasn't even the midcourt. That was just on the kitchen line. Excuse me.
Nice, through the middle. What an evaluation. Lucy Kovalova pinching to the right. Safdar leaving a hole open in the middle.
Yeah, and Lucy Kovalova is so good fading to her right. That is definitely a situation.
7-6-1.
And maybe that particular shot from Christian was too good, but Safdar needs to be ready to fill the middle when Lucy slides, as her backhand counter is so good.
And timeout will be taken by Kovalova and Safdar.
7-6-1.
Anticipate a rematch with Waters. Parento against Bright. And Rohrabacher, the girlies you speak of. Ooh, I like the play from Safdar on the right, or the left, excuse me. She is feisty. And here's the tournament update. Round of 32, Jaume Martinez, Vic, and Augie Gutt taking a loss to Yates Johnson and Marshall Brown. Shocker of the draw so far. Nice spot from Caitlin Christian, putting Lucy Kovalova in jail.
Yeah, I mean, the shot was obviously good from Caitlin Christian, but the movement forward to even have the opportunity to take that out of the air was even more impressive.
Heavy drive from Caitlin Christian to Safdar on her way up to the kitchen.
Game point.
Game point for the 24 seed.
10-6-1. Point game,
Into the
11-6.
net.
Change in.
Great location for Christian, and they will take the first. Gecheva and Christian up a game on Kovalova.
And there was also some discussion, Michelle, about unwinding the stack and if Kovalova and Safdar were comfortable with that. So
New
I
ball,
expect
game
this
2,
return
time in. 0-0-2.
to go to Gecheva and to possibly have a switch with Safdar coming to the left. Nope, she's staying. And some nice
Side
help
out.
from Lucy Kovalova protecting Safdar, who's transitioning forward. Yeah, so we're going to have a left side
0-0-1.
Lucy here.
Point.
And some heavy serves from Christian caused problems in game 1. And now Safdar hits one
1-0-1.
just inside the baseline, giving Gecheva trouble.
And Christian wielding the setup to close in the middle. What do you think about stacking Lucy to the left?
Yeah, I like it.
1-0-2.
She's a veteran. She's been around the game longer than Safdar and played many more big moments. I understand that most of those moments have been on the right side, but Lucy has the length and a quality skill set for the left. So I'm okay with it.
0-1-1. Point.
Not to unwind the stack there for Kovalova and Safdar. Gecheva and Christian with a heads-up play through the middle, identifying that.
Has a pretty low speed up from Safdar. And I'm fine with the aggression, but Gecheva, a little back and forth between Lucy, but Gecheva's pretty heavy-handed.
Yeah.
And when she hits a quality counter, it really flies off the paddle, so you have to be careful attacking her from a low position.
Oh, heavy-handed goes right to the body of Safdar, and almost every ball going Safdar's way there on the left.
Yeah, it's definitely a power advantage right now for Gecheva and Christian when some of the exchanges get going.
Point.
Ooh, Christian almost in some trouble. Safdar lets her off the hook.
Yeah, that's one of the juicier finishing balls that M.Safdar has had over on the forehand side. I like her
3-1-1.
setup to get that ball, but you have to finish.
That's wide.
Ball is out.
Christian
Point.
handling every ball to her backhand. A couple of nice resets as well.
Right, those are tricky inside-out forehands from Safdar, and Caitlin Christian
4-1-1.
using her movement so well to handle all of them.
Second serve.
And Christian got stuck. I think she even has a little smile on her face, knowing she needed an
4-1-2.
extra step for that last ball. Couldn't get the feet out of the mud.
Christian on the attack. Down the line on Kovalova. And back to Safdar, who looks frustrated and a bit out of sorts, knowing she's the player being attacked right now.
5-1-2.
Yeah, big time north to south movement from Caitlin Christian.
Side
She
out.
has been charging forward from the baseline to the kitchen line and providing a lot of offense for her team.
1-5-1. Second serve.
Little extra slice on that last return, eating up Safdar.
1-5-2.
Safdar maybe hitting an out ball in that sequence from Caitlin Christian, and a quick side out the other way.
5-1-1.
Ooh,
Second serve.
behind it. Gecheva had what Caitlin Christian was hoping for, a pop-up chance.
5-1-2. Point.
Kovalova tries to go through the middle. Caitlin Christian is aware. Another point to their side.
A beautiful jam up too from Caitlin Christian, right at the body of Safdar from a low position.
Safdar redeeming herself.
That's a nice combination. Start it with the one-handed roll and finish on the forehand side. Gonna need some more of those to go her way.
Second serve. One 6-2.
Just deep for Safdar. Respect the fact that she's still going for it. And side out on the side of Christian and Gecheva.
6-1-1.
Ooh, wide for Kovalova. Singles defensive specialist there for Caitlin Christian. Made it to 4 straight singles finals. Where in action from the Veolia North Carolina Open. Top left corner of your screens where we focus our attention. Humana Championship Court. Caitlin Christian, Krista Gecheva, last weekend's semifinalist. Looking for another deep run in North Carolina. And Caitlin Christian pockets inside the baseline on the backhand out of the air.
She took just a little bit off, which is exactly what Caitlin Christian needed on that two-handed backhand. Ball's gonna sail long if she takes a full stroke. That's a nice pace control from Caitlin. Very nice inside-out dink from M.Safdar. Caitlin Christian's been lurking in the middle when she's on the left, so you have to go behind her at some frequency.
Christian falling short there. Ball back to Safdar and Kovalova. Winner of this match gets Tyra Black or Georgia Johnson, who Gecheva and Christian knocked out last weekend in the round of 16. Could be a juicy rematch there, Adam.
That's extremely fun.
Yeah.
It looks like that is going to happen, but of course, game 2 is not in the bag for Gecheva and Christian just yet.
Ooh, drop volley with a little help off the tape. Ball back to Christian and Gecheva. 3 points away from the rematch we mentioned. Just wide for Gecheva, trying to go up the tee on Kovalova.
Went for it. 8-1's not a bad time to let it fly.
Couple of unforced for Gecheva.
Yeah, it's definitely time to get a couple or a few for Safdar and Kovalova, especially after that empty possession.
Oh, ATP from Gecheva. Was it
Oh, it went through
the post? Wow.
I was going to say, I didn't think it was barely there, and she brought it back into the heart of the court. Something must have,
exactly.
something must have happened.
Nice control to set it up, though, from Caitlin Christian, getting tested on the backhand. Another look at the through the post. Yeah.
Second serve.
Degree of difficulty to get it through the post, though.
Yeah, do it again. Good luck.
Yeah. Ben Johns and Gabe Tardio coming up next in the round of 16. Fun. Another look at the partnership. A little wide for Christian and a little light for Safdar and Kovalova. Clearly the strategy working the backhand dink of Caitlin Christian, not a bad idea.
Yeah, well, I said a couple or a few, so we have reached the couple, and it's time for a few now for Safdar and Kovalova.
Three, 8-2.
And then as soon as it goes to the forehand, Caitlin Christian takes care of business.
Yeah, and it's an easy adjustment for Caitlin. Not easy, but she can just take a little less court in the middle, stay home, handle those backhand dinks until she does get an opportunity with the forehand.
Point.
Safdar trying to do too much, telling herself no on that attempt.
Telling herself no twice. So a little extra emphasis on that miss from Safdar.
Second serve.
A nice first volley from Safdar to get it down low at the feet of Gecheva. Would be a huge deal to not allow Gecheva and Christian to get to 10.
Again, the backhand giving Christian some trouble on the dink. Well, you know what's coming. I know you mentioned the easy adjustment to make. Where are your targets if you're Caitlin Christian on that backhand dink? Just continue in the cross-court pattern, work the middle, simplify.
Yeah, I think continuing with the cross-court pattern is the best, safest, most court to work with. Oh, good try on the scramble from Safdar. Occasionally changing direction, that's okay too, as long as you're balanced and your paddle's out in front.
Side out.
And there is a lot of junk on that return from Gecheva. Just completely moving away from her opponent.
9-3-1. Point.
Free gift and game points for Caitlin Christian. And Krista Gecheva looking for the rematch with Tyra Black and Georgia Johnson. Gecheva earns the pop-up. Caitlin Christian seals the deal in 2, 11-6, 11-3. They will move on once again to the round of 16 and meet a familiar foe, Tyra Black and Georgia Johnson, who they knocked out in 2 games last weekend in St. George.